Today we'll be discussing stretch lace and whether or not any sustainable options exist for your next sewing project. Lace is such an integral part of so many patterns that knowing where it's from and what it's made of should be considered. There are two main types of lace: stretch and non-stretch. Today we're going to be discussing stretch lace because that is what most lingerie patterns will call for. There are two components to the lace: the stretchy part and the other fibers that don't need to stretch. So far I've only come across laces that use synthetics for the stretchy part, but there's nothing stopping someone from using wool instead. The synthetic fibers are likely elastane or polyamide, both of which are made from petroleum. However, I have found some laces that use recycled elastane or polyamide, and I will discuss those in a minute. For the non-stretch part of the lace, I have found a few brands that will incorporate cotton or viscose, but for the most part, that is synthetic as well. Petroleum is not renewable, so for me, any laces made out of petroleum byproducts is not sustainable. However, I still use lace in my sewing projects because I am operating in an imperfect system. Personally, it's not worth omitting stretch lace from my sewing projects because it adds a lot of beauty. However, there are a few things I look for when I am purchasing lace for my projects. The first thing I look for is whether or not there is a recycled element in the lace. This is a win because at least entirely new threads are not being created. I've found one supplier of recycled elastane lace, and that's Fabric Romance from Ireland. The lace has 14% OEKO-TEX, which itself contains 50% pre-consumer recycled fibers. That's not a huge amount of recycled content, but it is a start. I've also found one supplier of recycled polyamide lace, and that's Shanty Lace from Germany. They carry a small number of laces that are made up of a percentage of EcoCare polyamide threads. The second thing I look for is whether or not it's OEKO-TEX certified. This ensures that there's limited harmful chemicals from the manufacturing process in the lace. I'm going to discuss what this means in a bit, but for now, I have found two suppliers that have OEKO-TEX certified lace, and I've already mentioned both of them: Fabric Romance and Shanty. Fabric Romance carries a wide range of fabrics, and not everything is certified. Shanty, however, manufactures all their laces in-house, so everything is OEKO-TEX certified. They also have the Global Recycled Standard, which certifies the recycled content in their laces. The third thing I look for, and I've already mentioned, is whether or not there's any type of natural fibers in the lace. This at least reduces the quantity of synthetics that you're using. I've only found one supplier that incorporates any natural fibers into the lace, and that is Shanty. They have a good selection of laces that contain a percentage of cotton, which may be organic. The information isn't very clear, so I can't say with confidence whether or not the cotton is organic. There are a lot of steps in manufacturing fabric that I really didn't think about before I started focusing on sustainability. In each step of the manufacturing process, there is an opportunity for chemicals to be used that will later leach out in the fabric while you're wearing it. Since lace for lingerie sewing is going to be worn next to sensitive areas, it's particularly important that those fabrics be as safe as possible. There are hundreds of chemicals that are tested for throughout the OEKO-TEX certification process, including lead, formaldehyde, certain dyes, phthalates, and certain pesticides. You can go to their website and find the entire list of what they test for, as well as ensuring that what you are buying is actually certified. There's so many options when it comes to sustainability, but what really matters is that you sew something you love and will wear for a long time. I realize that sustainable lace may not be an option for everyone, and no one should feel bad or guilty because the act of sewing is sustainable on its own. I hope this video is able to show you some options to reduce the impact of sewing with synthetic stretch laces.